What belongs to Caesar? Pharisees and Herodians, fellow leaders and teachers who are nervous about the tension that Jesus is bringing into Jerusalem, approach him with a question. Is it right to pay the imperial tax to Caesar or not? In response, Jesus asks them to produce the coin that was used for paying the tax, a denarius, and responds, "Whose image is on this, and whose inscription? Caesar's. Then give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God." Matthew chapter 22, verses 15 through 22. As a citizen of the country of money, as Ilya Kaminsky once put it, I find that the actions of my nation rarely reflect my values. As a Christian, I struggle often with what this means for how to live and move in my community. For example, I believe that we have an obligation to one another to give some of what we have to support the mutual good. This is what I tell myself is happening with my taxes, but our national budget makes me not so sure. What does it mean to be in this world, so rife with inequity, so entangled and complex, but not of it? 2,000 years ago, during a different disastrous reign in the House of Money, Kaminsky again, Jesus is asked whether it is right to pay the imperial tax to Caesar. And in response, he asks the Pharisees to produce a denarius coin. Jesus points to the picture of Caesar pressed onto its face and tells the crowd, "Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God." I've heard people point to this verse as proof that we should never mix religion and politics, that the story of Jesus has nothing to do with how you should act in the town hall or the voting booth. The problem with this, of course, is that Jesus' life was profoundly political. Jesus was a first-century Middle Eastern Jewish man living under Roman occupation. Matthew's gospel tells us that a week after this public debate over taxation, he will be killed by the state for continuing to incite political discontent. Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. We have to be careful not to get stuck in the first half of this sentence because Jesus continues, "Give to God what belongs to God." Which begs the question, what belongs to God? What bears God's image as the coin bears Caesar's? We find an answer all the way at the beginning of the Bible in the book of Genesis, where God molds humanity in God's own image, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. The theological term is imago Dei, divine image. Rather than answering their question about who gets what coins when, Jesus replies, "Don't you understand? You belong to something so much bigger. All that Caesar is king of is a pile of coins. He can slap his face on whatever he wants to, but you are a child of God. All people bear the divine image, and there is no legislation or opinion piece or ruling administration that can take that away." When the image of Caesar looms large, we wait in hope not only for the next election, but for the maker of heaven and earth, who is always speaking and moving among us. We hold fast to the truth that all creation bears the image of God, and we live like it. The thing I hate about this is that all means all. The bad news about the good news is that God loves you, and God also loves your least favorite person. The oppressed belong to God, and so does Caesar. We are called to be active participants in the work of equity and justice, and to do so without participating in the degradation of others. We must be persistent in both liberation and love, because all means all. If we're going to say we follow the way of Jesus, we're going to have to resist the urge to become jaded and callous, and instead trust that the power made perfect in weakness is, in fact, turning this world around. We're going to have to commit ourselves to the narrow way of tenderness for others and also for ourselves. All means all. This is difficult because we are taught in our culture that our exhaustion is somehow noble, that it makes us hardworking or generous or selfless, but burnout is not of God. It is a symptom of a broken system. Our exhaustion serves only empire. When we prioritize our rest and well-being, when we choose not to internalize the demands of a broken system, we refuse to give to Caesar what is not Caesar's. The road to liberation is long. And if we want to make it there, we'll have to stop to rest along the way. The world is not Caesar's. It does not bear his face, try as he might. So what do we do next? We drink water. We build community. We stay tender and compassionate. We sow our small good, and we wait in hope. We will not meet hate with hate. We do not need to destroy ourselves to build the world.